The following podcast has been rated Listener MA. It contains strong language, violence, adult situations, nudity. Listener discretion is advised.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Unfiltered Sportscast. I'm your host. My name is Scotty German. Alongside me, as usual, I have two excellent stand-up comedians from here in the Wichita area. First, to my left, I have the 1984 Kingman County T-Ball Defensive Player of the Year award winner, Mr. Jeremy Joseph.
Hey, Scotty.
Hey, buddy. And then the biggest asshole that we all love, know, call the wreck, Mr. Derek Alders.
Ahoy, Captain Scotty.
Why again? Fucking weird hellos. Well, ahoy. How was your guys' week?
You know, that is actually how Alexander Graham Bell suggested answering the telephone.
Oh, really?
Ahoy. Yep.
Ahoy?
That is a true fact.
That's weird.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Well, probably back then it wouldn't have seemed weird because there was no standard protocol.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they would think this is weird.
Probably. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I still think it's weird saying hello, actually. I think that's weird.
Yeah?
Yeah, like, because, I mean, whenever somebody is calling me and I know who it is, we all know who it is, yet we still say hello.
Well, my favorite thing is when somebody leaves a message and they go, "Hey, it's me." Okay. If I know your voice well enough to know who it is, you don't have to say who it is. And if I don't, saying, "Hey, it's me," yeah, no shit. But you're not helping. Who the fuck is this?
That's why I like to stick with the old staple and just breathe really heavily into the phone. Because they already know who it is.
And then just every now and then, I'm going to kill you.
Yep.
Love that guy.
Awesome.
Anyway.
Well, how are both of your guys' weeks? So we got a week recap that we can do.
I had a very good week. Saturday was the 50th anniversary of the Apollo 11 landing on the moon, so I spent the day at the Kansas Cosmosphere, one of the 8 wonders of Kansas, which I did not know we had. Yeah, it's one of them. I was very surprised to find out that I am not one of them. That was the most surprising thing to me. My wife was surprised to hear that there were 8 wonders, and I'm like, well, there's 2 of them right here. And no, turns out, no, I'm not in there.
No?
Not even a runner-up.
Oh, that sucks.
It sure does.
Did you have fun?
I did. I had a really good time.
Well, I know you're a big nerd into that shit.
I am a huge space fanatic, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
A lot of very rude people.
Oh, really?
But, yeah, that's just how people are.
Yeah, pretty much. That's why I can't stand them.
Right.
Anyway, how about you, Derek?
I time traveled back to 1960 and went to the drive-in. That was nice.
Yeah?
Yeah. I realized that now I don't like daytime running lights because you can't run your air conditioner at the drive-in without your headlights on. So, oops. And I'm still trying to have all my local TV channels, which would be fucking nice if they would fix this.
Oh, what, with your cable company?
DirecTV has taken away CBS on every platform, every outlet.
Yeah.
They've also, with their company they're feuding with, they've taken away also, for me, NBC, ABC, and Fox. So when football season comes around, if this bullshit's still going on, I'm going to be very unhappy.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I used to watch, I'd record 24 shows maybe a week.
Yeah.
And I'd watch them throughout the week.
Sure.
I watch 2 now.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, just 2 shows. I have fucking nothing to do when I get home at 2:30 in the morning from work other than masturbate and drink. So you want to make sure you don't drink the wrong shot glass.
Gross.
So Sesame Street and what else?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I like to get drunk to Sesame Street.
Sure,
I
who doesn't?
masturbate to 9/11 footage.
God. Jesus Christ. Oh man, that's rough. Well, we'll figure something out. Either I can't see them making it to that.
I don't know. It's almost a month now for me.
Yeah,
They're going to lose a lot of subscribers.
Oh God, yeah. They don't make it. They don't make it work right when football season starts. That it's gonna tank.
Well, I think the only reason people keep DirecTV is because of Sunday Ticket. And the fact that all those games are on Fox and CBS and other markets.
Oh, so that won't, you can't.
and
get
NBC,
any of that, even
none
with
of it.
Oh, goddamn.
No.
So what is the dispute?
They're trying to raise prices on DirecTV, and DirecTV claims they're trying to not have to pass those price raises on to the consumer, but I'll pay $5 more a month for fuck's sakes. Like, this is ridiculous.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I subscribe to Indirect TV. That's where I splice in my neighbor's cable. Unfortunately, I have to watch whatever the hell he's watching, and he watches a lot of shit.
Hey, Jeremy, Channel 4, the breast exam.
He watches a lot of breast exams too.
Anyways, welcome to the show. This is a sports talk show. It's a very loose sports talk show, which is centered around very inappropriate jokes that we decide to take too far if they're about sports, and even if they're not about sports.
Yeah, we are looser than Scotty's sister.
And on this show, we do consider masturbation a sport.
Yes,
and blowjobs.
That's why we call it jerk off.
But it's a race.
That's right.
Well, we'll get into football a little bit later.
And
but-
masturbation.
No, please, dear God, no.
Done.
I don't think you can call it masturbate until you actually master the craft.
I know it.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm very good baiting.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm masturbating.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I'm still apprentice baiting.
Well, but you've got the
Journeyman
master's
baiting.
throat. That's why you wear that black scarf, is because you have the master's throat.
That makes no fucking sense at all, Scott.
Scotty, they can see
You
him.
are reaching so far right now.
He's not wearing a scarf.
No.
You're the one wearing black.
That's true.
Yes.
You're like Johnny Cash today.
Yeah, I am. I'm wearing all black.
And you got that cum catcher all over your face. It's like a dream catcher for jizz.
No, absolutely not. Anyways,
It kind of probably would work for that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know,
It's like
Jeremy.
a fucking Brillo pad, dude.
Something about Scotty.
There's the inappropriate jokes going way too goddamn far. But everybody, welcome to the show. We are the Unfiltered Sportscast. You can follow us on Facebook at the Unfiltered Sportscast. We're also on many other platforms, and if you get a chance, you can watch us on YouTube at the Unfiltered Sportscast channel. So check us out there.
Just so we're clear, Scotty said those jokes went way too far. That's like the fourth most mild thing we've ever said on this show.
Well, speaking of mild jokes, our most mild show, we did get to interview Bob Millette, who's the assistant GM.
Good segue.
Yeah, right. Assistant GM for the Wichita baseball team 2020, which they are getting ready. I got to hang out with Bob. That was my weekend. I got to hang out with Bob a little bit and talk what's going on. They are basically getting ready within the next couple, I think he said next week or the next couple of weeks, they're going to start releasing, the way I understood it was one logo at a time for 7 consecutive weeks is the way I understood
And what is like the 7th week is the actual logo?
No, not necessarily. I don't know if they're going to be different ideas. Bob's very good at keeping it, closed.
Well,
Doesn't want to
until they
leave-
do reveal the name, since they are just going by Wichita Baseball 2020, with the whole
Right.
2020 thing, unofficially we should call them the Mad Dogs.
No.
I'm
No.
a big fan of that.
Okay,
'Cause
well,
that's a good name, and that's a good drink.
no, it's awful.
A nice, fine aged Mad Dog. That's the only wine I'll drink.
No, and Mad Dog was like an awful beer that my stepdad would drink with tomato
It's
juice.
wine.
It's like a wine cooler.
Oh, is it
Oh,
really?
Red Dog. You're thinking of Red Dog.
Red Dog is what
yeah.
I was thinking
Yeah,
of.
Red Dog was an awful beer.
It was awful.
Oh, yeah, and it said right on the label, uncommonly smooth. Compared to turpentine, yes, it
Right.
was. Other than that, there was nothing smooth about it. Red Dog Light was some of the harshest fucking beer. I don't know that I ever drank the full strength shit.
I was never old enough to have it even around.
It was
Like-
it was bad, and it was they had funny commercials though, and
Okay.
so people thought they were cool for a while.
And they said if you turn the logo upside down, it looked like Batman eating a girl out. I remember that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right.
That's what they said.
Fans?
They did say that. I
Look
I
that
don't
up.
recall.
I don't know. I had a mirror, but I never turned the mirror upside down.
All I know is I specifically remember one time where I remember my stepdad went out and he apparently drank too much of Red Dog because he actually drank Red Dog.
That doesn't surprise me.
No,
Your
right.
stepdad is a dork.
And he apparently drank enough to where the next day he had to call in sick from work. So that's all I can remember about it.
I see Pabst is the
Sounds
only
like
one
both
that,
of you have problems.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it.
Pabst is the only one that makes me feel like shit. Like
Bud Light.
I've drank Pabst like one time I drank a shitload of Pabst, and I think I had the runs for like 3 days. Like I was Pabst smeared. Like it was bad.
Red Dog is like if you got into a shitty batch of Pabst. That's what Red Dog was like.
No, for me, I can't do Bud Light.
It was nice. I had a lady come into to the bar I work at the other night and asked me for a Pabst.
Did you really?
Yeah, I finally got to say it. I was like, I'm sorry, miss. The shittiest beer we have is Bud Light.
That's awesome.
I drank
Dilly
Bud Light.
dilly.
But it's true because that's the beer that absolutely messes with me.
Actually, that does. It gives me headaches.
Yeah, me too. Especially
Like
if
the
I have-
next day, it's supposed to, you know, but not after like the second one. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so well, let's get into sports. We did have some sports that
I guess we're
went
not
on.
sponsored by Bud Light this week.
No, we're not.
All right.
No,
No.
we're not. Sure not.
Once again.
they don't pay enough.
Red Dog sponsors us this week,
Yeah.
actually.
Well, they don't even exist anymore, do they?
Shut up, Scotty.
Okay.
We still need their money.
Deal. So we had a lot of sports actually go on. We have some stuff that's coming up. I wanted to talk a little bit about the TBT tournament. We got the basketball tournament that's coming into Wichita, which is kind of a cool thing. We're our own region. And we have the Aftershocks representing Wichita State, which is my team. That's who I'm rooting for. But it's also really cool because we have the Aftershocks, but we have Self-Made. And then we also have Sideline Cancer, which I still can't figure out why the fuck they called them that.
Yeah, who wants cancer on the sideline?
Exactly. But that's the K-State team. And then you have Self-Made, which is the KU team, which I think Perry Ellis is going to be on that team, which is kind of cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
What is he, 60 now?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. His receding
Jesus,
hairline.
he's looked like it. He played at KU for, what, 9 years?
4 years, but it felt like it was 10.
He looked like he was 52.
Yeah.
Yeah, him
From the time he got there. He was half bald
Yeah, he-
and like had an old gray mustache and
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, it looked like Mr. Jefferson was playing
Yeah.
on the University of Kansas.
And then with Connor Frankamp with his bleached receding hairline as well, it was just like those two guys just need to go ahead and do the Danny DeVito haircut. You know what I mean?
Well, they kind of naturally did.
No, they still have hair there.
Well, yeah, Danny DeVito had hair on along the sides.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I mean. They just need to go ahead and take the rest of the top off.
Okay.
or the whole fucking thing.
Or the whole fucking thing. Just
I
shave
guess
your head.
nobody... That's just bald guy. I don't know that anybody ever called that the Danny DeVito.
The Danny DeVito's got hair
That's-
on the sides.
That's called a horseshoe.
Right.
Well, the horseshoe, okay.
That's called a bald guy. In fact, it is actually all bald men have hair here. It's actually physically impossible to lose that naturally.
No kidding?
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Everybody with a totally bald head has shaved it.
I'll be damned. Didn't know that. But
Or had chemo
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
well, that's what I was going to
happen.
say.
on the
I
sideline.
think that makes
Why
all
would you
hair
keep
fall
it
out,
on
doesn't
the sides? Why would you keep it on the sides? Shave the whole damn thing, look like a chemo patient, and just
Well,
move
there
on
was a
with your
time
life.
when it looked distinguished. I call it the Jean-Luc Picard.
Business on the sides and athlete on the top, I guess. That's what it is.
I like that. That's good.
Because it's a lot of work, too.
Yeah. But it's so far this tournament is actually pretty exciting. I've had the opportunity to watch a couple of games, and it's not bland. It's actually pretty damn good basketball. I mean, you have to think of it. These are players that are coming from, all of the colleges that we know, and even the conferences and stuff like that have certain teams. So not everybody on the Aftershocks. There's one player that's not a Shocker alumni or something like that, and I'm sure there's going to be conference teams like the Big Ten is going to have a team, and I know Ohio State has a team that you said
They got a guy from Illinois.
on it, right? So there's going to be these teams that have that one straggler and stuff like that, but all over the four regions, which I can't remember the first two, but I know that the next two are Salt Lake and then here in Wichita. And I guess Wichita has like outsold tickets by the thousands, the tens of thousands.
There's nothing to do here.
Yeah.
True. All right, that's a
You
good
have
point.
your choice of going to that or looking at a tree. That's it.
Especially if the games are early because old people go to sleep.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, most of these guys are like, what, 4 or 5 years out, in some cases even closer than that. They just have to basically be out of the college to...
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's cool for me. it's really cool for me, some of the players that are coming and playing for the Aftershock. Some of these guys are some of my favorite basketball players of all time that I was able to see live, even meet a couple of them from time to time. Clevin Hanna was one of my favorite guys. He's a little guy, good point guard. You got Clee Anthony Earleys that's going to be on the team. You got Shaq Morris, who unfortunately his mom actually just passed away this last weekend, and he went and did business there, but he's going to still come back and play. He just got into town, I think either the other day, like 2 days ago or yesterday, and he had his first practice. And you can see all these guys like Garrett Stutz and Kayron Bradley's putting it on. I mean, all these guys are people that I really looked up to and as a young adult and thought the world of. So it's really cool for me. But now you got K-State guys that are coming out to do it, and you have KU guys that are coming out to do it, and of course we're going to sell a shitload of tickets. Those are the three only basketball programs really worth a shit, and they're actually all pretty good teams, and we all have this kind of inner rivalry. I mean, I can't stand KU, at all, but
none of us can.
Right. But it's going to be really neat to be able to go and see these games, or even watching on ESPN, because that's where they're going to be.
Who's coaching these teams?
Did we all miss the part where I asked Scotty what he thought was cool about this? I just asked about how far out of college these guys were.
Oh, my bad.
That was a yes or no question. Are they like 4 or 5 years out of college? Most of them sounds like, yeah.
JT Durley, I think, graduated in 2013, I think.
Okay.
It was when they won the NIT. That was JT Durley's senior year. And
so
I think
a
that's
lot
one
of these
the
are guys who are playing Europe or someplace.
Some of them, yeah.
There's probably some guys who they probably have a better chance of getting seen, maybe second chance by the NBA.
That's very possible,
as opposed to over there. I mean, this is televised.
Yeah.
I know that a lot of guys are just in it to have fun, but there's still some guys probably, just fingers crossed,
maybe
last ditch effort. So they're probably going to play pretty hard,
right?
You've got summer league going on now with the NBA and everything too.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. Well, and I was watching. It was really neat because I was watching Dayton and the Ohio State team play against each other, and that's a huge rivalry. They don't get to play very much, and so they had Dayton, the team that went fairly far in the NCAA tournament, playing all of these Ohio State guys, and I believe
won the NCAA tournament.
Well, and it was kind of cool to see because that rivalry was there, but it was kind of shocking. Was that it looked like it was played in a fucking high school gym. It was so small.
Yeah. Huh.
There must have been a maximum of 1,000 people in there, maximum, and apparently Wichita State is a 10,506 ass-fitting arena in Wichita, and they're opening up everything because they're probably going to get very damn close to selling out every single game.
It's at Interest?
No, it is at Charles Koch Arena.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Which is Wichita State's home
slightly
court.
More as far as people it can hold seats-wise than Interest.
No, Interest is actually larger.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, Interest is about 15,000 or a little bit more than 15,000.
Okay.
Charles
Oh,
Koch
really?
Arena. Mm-hmm.
Wow, I thought it was only 10.
No, the way that the Roundhouse is actually
They still
built,
call it that?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
The old place I knew was the Roundhouse.
Yeah. That was Henry Levitt Arena.
Mm-hmm.
I sat in there too. But they expanded and grew it and
Great seats in there. Very comfortable. Hardwood.
I remember the hardwood seats with the black box on them with the little yellow number, and that's where you sit. But they didn't have like the ass form. So
there's a reason why people stand until they score their first points.
That's right.
And they're hoping they don't score their first points. I don't want to sit on these fucking uncomfortable wooden planks.
Yeah, but for what it's worth, a family of 4 obese people took up 4 spots if they sat next to small people.
Okay, yeah, I'll take that for what it's worth.
Okay, deal. But it's going to be an awesome event. I can't because we are from here. It means a lot to me, but I'm really excited to see these teams go up against each other. I think it's going to be an awesome, event, especially for Wichita, and I hope everybody turns out. But you can follow them on Facebook, which is the Aftershock, so check them out.
Well, and how long have people clamored? I mean, they've been begging for a Wichita State KU rivalry. They've been wanting for a long time to see a lot of these players
That's
play
no
each other.
shit, and guess what? It's played in Wichita, which is huge.
Who's coaching these guys?
I know Wichita State's coach is Kayron Bradley, but he also has, I believe, Zach Bush as well. So, and Zach Bush he played. I want to say 4 years, but I mean he paid his way, and I think he got a scholarship at the very end. But as far as the K-State teams and the KU teams, I have no idea.
I'd be interested. I didn't realize K-State had a team in it. And they call themselves what?
Sideline cancer.
See, I'm trying to think of
I hope
the only
it's
sideline cancer I know of is the
Bruce
fucking coach
Weber.
is Bruce Weber. He's just a cancer on the ass of. He's ass cancer to basketball is what he is.
You can always check that video out on Facebook. We have that in our playlist for the Go Fuck Yourself. The only Go Fuck Yourself, because we haven't done one in quite a while.
We haven't.
We need to
I
work
should
on
do
that.
a redo on Bruce Weber. There's a lot that I left out that I'd like to say about
I'm
him.
sure there is. He's
He's not a good coach.
No, he's not. The next thing I wanted to go over, moving on from basketball, was the MLB Hall of Fame. We got to get into baseball a little bit here. They had their ceremony, so everybody now has their. What are they made out of? What are they made out of? Like copper or some shit?
Bronze.
Like bronze. They got their bronze bust that they get to have, and now their names will be forever in Cooperstown, which is cool.
It is cool. I would love to get up there one of these days.
Me too.
Yeah, me too. I don't think it's going to happen, Jeremy.
Not inducted, Dick.
Okay.
I mean, just to visit.
I was going to say
I was actually waxing real here poetically. I would love to go to Cooperstown, New York, and see the Baseball Hall of Fame.
I would too.
The fact I'm not in is a fucking tragedy, but it's been 10 years since '84, well over. So I don't even qualify anymore.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, I don't think you made it past the first round of ballots. You got to get a certain percentage. I think you were under.
Yeah, I got 54%, and you got to have 75, something like that. So
Keep telling yourself that, Jeremy.
I know it was under the required amount, whatever it was.
Yeah, it may have
You
been
know what
negative.
though? I would turn it down even if they fuck those fuckers.
Thank God. But Mariano gave his speech. I actually thought it was really cool. Roy Halladay's wife gave a speech, and that was kind of neat. Those of everybody that was inducted in, those were my two favorites. We've already had a show talking about the inductees and stuff like that, and I'm happy for them. There are some that we have all three of us said that I think MLB is getting kind of weak on the Hall of Fame inductees.
I don't know that they're getting weak so much as they're trying to put it in the face of the steroid guys.
That's what I think.
Is that what you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because let's face it, Edgar Martinez should not be there. He does not have the numbers for a career that deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. And I think when you've got, technically the all-time home run leader sitting on the side can't get in, I think that's kind of just a fucking shove to his face.
Sure. I don't know if I've made up my mind about the whole steroid thing. I don't like it because it's definitely a performance enhancing drug, because obviously the guys that realistically, did Bonds actually get caught doing it?
No, he's never been caught. And that is the only saving grace for him, but it's so fucking obvious that he did. And that's what pisses me off more than anything is the continual lying and denying of it. And, if it weren't for the steroids, he would not have the single season home run record.
Sure.
He did that at 38?
I don't know. He was older.
Yeah. And then he certainly wouldn't have the career home run record.
Right. And if I remember correctly, he never won a World Series, did he? Or did he win one?
No, he made it to a couple.
He lost to the Angels.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah.
But that would be kind of poetic justice, actually. That
2 he lost to the Angels, I think.
Well, that would make sense, but that would just be kind of poetic justice, and I think that maybe the MLB is kind of doing maybe the right thing, but I also think that if it's a regulated thing, if you're not supposed to do it and you're doing it anyway, then I think the MLB has something to stand on. Do I really give a shit? No,
I think
they
were
should,
all doing it.
Yeah,
I mean, everybody, the pitchers were doing it just as well as the hitters.
Roger Clemens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think baseball's more forgiving to the ones that actually came out and admitted it. Mm-hmm. Like you hear the two big names you always hear about are Bonds and Clemens.
And Jose Canseco.
Yeah. But, I mean, lately
as
it's
far
Bonds.
as the ones who didn't come clean.
Canseco came clean.
Yes, Canseco
Yeah.
did.
He wrote the book.
Palmeiro.
Yeah, he wrote the
Well,
book and
but
threw everybody
originally-
under the bus.
Yeah.
To me, the first two that really came out and apologized were Andy Pettitte and Mark McGwire.
Yeah,
Both
okay.
of those two.
Yeah.
And neither one has really been blackballed. I mean, maybe from the Hall of Fame, but McGwire has a job with a major league organization.
Right.
I'm not sure what Pettitte's done since, but I mean,
Yeah.
they kind of have forgiven them.
Right.
And they just, with the ones that have constantly lied, Palmeiro lied constantly.
Yeah, Rafael Palmeiro.
Sosa still won't talk about it.
But and
Clemens,
that's another
Bonds.
one. That's a Sammy Sosa was a pretty blatantly obvious one too.
Yeah, and he still denies it to this day.
Yeah, and he probably wouldn't get into the Hall of Fame anyway.
No.
Because he
he'd get
really
in.
didn't come on to the Hall of Fame or to the home runs until later in his career. I mean, he was never threatening any
600
sequel
home
season.
runs get you in.
Did he?
Yeah, he hit 600 home runs.
Yeah, but how many of those were juiced? I mean, that's
probably fucking 590 of them.
yeah. Well, I mean, he really didn't come on as a big time power guy until like that '98 season.
He was a
McGuire.
He was a rookie in '90 with the White Sox.
Was he? Okay.
And then the Cubs got him, I think, in like '94 or something for the George Bell. That was the George Bell trade.
I
That's when they got
remember
him.
he had a lot of trouble coming up with the curveball. He could not hit a breaking ball for shit. And
Unless
so everybody
it
knew
was a slow hanger. If it was a slow hanger, he'd turn on it.
Yeah, and I mean he hit some home runs, but I mean it wasn't anytime that a guy is over like 32 and comes back from the off season with 30 pounds of pure muscle
Yeah.
put back on.
They are on my program.
Yes, there is a certain point when an athlete who's already keeping himself in very good shape,
Right.
their body deteriorates.
Sure.
And those guys defied what we know to be medical fact. And
Yeah.
it just, unless they can explain how in the fuck that happened with something credible other than steroids, you know, I can't get past it.
We know Frank Thomas used Nugenics. That's what he did.
Well, Frank Thomas was always huge.
Huge.
He was.
And Frank Thomas was always getting hurt, which doesn't tend to happen.
That's why he was.
with
That's
steroids.
why he was a big hurt.
Big hurt. Yeah.
But I mean, he was constantly injured, which typically steroid users they heal
Fast.
way quicker than most of that was the whole reason anabolic steroids were invented in the first place was to help people to recover from injuries faster.
Right. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I haven't made up my mind on the argument. I hated Barry Bonds, so initially my
He
argument
was a very unlikable person.
big time. He had a job in the major leagues for a while there
He
too.
did with the Marlins, I believe.
So, nah. Yeah, I don't like him. I'm with the MLB. I think you shouldn't have guys that
That or have your own wing. If you want to
have
do
a
that,
have a
like the
steroid wing?
steroid wing. Yeah,
that would almost blackball him even more.
yeah.
Like we know you did, you cheating pieces of shit.
This is what happened in the '90s.
Right, exactly.
It was a different time.
And for a long time, the rules were not clearly defined.
Sure.
On it. And so for the people, when they weren't really being policed and nobody told them, hey, you can't do that,
Yeah.
that I do give a little bit of leeway for.
Sure.
But, you know, the guys who in the late 90s, after it had been, you know, clearly stated, you
Yeah.
cannot use anabolic steroids, and guys who just swole up muscles in their fucking head.
Yeah.
I mean, his fucking Barry Bonds' head size, and so did Mark McGwire.
Sure.
They looked like completely different people.
They look like cartoon characters.
Yes.
I mean, that's the best way
Like
to describe
what
it.
happened with Popeye when after he'd eat his fucking spinach and then just his chest would blow up.
Exactly.
That's what they looked
Or
like.
when you put on like
And-
big head mode on NBA Jam.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they, you know, and the huge forearms. That was another Popeye thing that they did.
Oh man, I don't mean to segue out of the MLB, but did you see that meme of what would NBA Jam look like in 2019?
Oh yeah.
I think they should bring that shit back because now it's the power of twos.
Oh, I had it. They did bring it back.
Did they?
Yeah. It's
Oh,
a
fuck.
while ago they brought
I
it back.
missed it. Well, I'm talking about for like 2020.
Oh, they did it like 5 years ago. They brought it
How
back.
would you know who to put on what team? They keep jumping from.
Yeah, right.
That's a good point.
It'd have to be the throwback edition.
Yeah. Okay. But the other thing I want to go over in baseball was the MLB standings. So I actually was wrong about my Cardinals. We've actually started to go on a little bit of a, you're just looking at me like, you shut the fuck up.
You weren't wrong about your Cardinals.
I I've got to be honest with myself. Yeah, we've kind of gone on a run, and I think we won like maybe 5 of the last 7. I think something like that. And so we are now only half a game out of the wild card right now, which I'm kind of proud of and impressed with. But I've got to be honest with myself. Okay, until we are completely healthy, there's no way. Eventually, we will tire out and we will wear out and we will probably not make the playoffs. It all depends on. I know. Shut the fuck up, Derek. It all depends on when Ozuna comes back and when Ryan Bader, Harrison Bader, sorry. When Harrison Bader actually starts figuring out his swing because he struggled and he's been hurt all season. We don't have a closer. Jordan Hicks is out. And so until he comes back and learns how to throw fucking strikes, it's just not gonna happen. I don't see it happening. Until all that stuff happens, we're gonna be a wild card team. Best case scenario, I just don't see us winning the Central. And
the Central's just so fucking weak. That's the problem. I don't know what happened to the Brewers.
Weak.
I don't know what happened to the Brewers.
Dude,
the Brewers should be running away with it.
I agree with you on that, but I don't think that it's weak. I think that we are literally the best division in baseball.
Keep beating up on each other.
We just kick the shit out of each other. Call me crazy. That's fine. And look at me all sideways. But the thing is that I think that the Dodgers are going to fucking peter-patter out. And the teams that are going to make the wild card team, guess what? It's probably going to be from the Central. And it may be 2 teams from the Central.
No, I don't think a Central team
Cardinals,
is going to be in the wild
Brewers.
card. No.
No?
No.
Okay.
That's
fine.
Your Cubs are starting to show some interest in Whit Merrifield.
I would love that.
They have to give up a
lot.
The Royals have said that a trade would at minimum require 3 MLB ready players.
I think maybe I was talking to somebody about it yesterday. I don't know if the Royals would take it, but the second baseman that we have now, who's actually playing very well, he's 26.
Well, Whit's been playing more outfield than second base.
And Schwarber. I think if you can put Schwarber in that deal.
That would be cool.
And then Ian Happ. I think if you throw Ian Happ, who was a big prospect last year, they sent him back down. He's been on fire late, last I knew. But I think if you use those 3 guys, those are all 3 MLB-ready prospects. I would do that deal. I just don't know if Kansas City would do that deal.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that they signed him for till what, 2024?
He's a free agent. Yeah, he's got 3 years left on his deal.
And
he's cost effective.
$5.6 million a year. They don't have. It's not like we've got to trade him because we can't afford to pay him. They can easily afford to pay him.
Yeah,
right.
In fact, he might be the best deal in
that was one of the best bargain deals. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, anyway, we'll see what happens. But moving on. I did want to briefly talk about this whole boxing thing that happened today. Actually, Maxim Dadashev was an undefeated Russian fighter that had a fight Friday, and it was very, very, very unfortunate. I'm not a big boxing fan. Yeah, I understand Pacquiao won his fight and everything. That's great.
Split decision. Huh? Split decision on Pacquiao.
Still, I mean, that's a pretty amazing deal, but it didn't get me all excited. This whole situation was very, very unfortunate. Max Dadashev ended up passing away Tuesday because of the injuries that he suffered in the ring. We watched a little bit of footage before we started the show. Max was 13-0. Both fighters were 13-0. Max had 13 KOs, right? So he's obviously very well aware of what he's doing in the ring, know what he's capable of. He fights all the way until the 11th round when his corner coach, Buddy McGirt, basically begged him to stop the fight. And if you've watched any of this footage, guys, it almost looks like Max was a zombie
when he's talking to him to stop the fight.
Stop the fight,
absolutely.
But throughout the fight, and I fucking hate Max Kellerman with a passion. But this is his wheelhouse. This is what he has been watching his entire career, which is what slingshotted him into the ability to be on First Take every day with Stephen A. Smith.
He's been a ringside announcer for HBO Boxing for
a very
I want to
long
say
time.
120 years.
Yes. I still hate his ass.
Yeah, he trained Howard Cosell.
Yeah.
Right.
He did.
And he was talking about this fight as he was watching that where he could not tell that Max was in such a situation that he ended up being in when it was all said and done, right? Until the very end of the 11th round. And I don't necessarily agree with the guy, because Jeremy was pointing out the entire time he was basically, just basically trying to cover up his jaw. He was getting hit in the head mainly whenever he would take a shot.
He was taking shots to the temple.
Yeah.
And that's where there's no knockout spot up here. The jawline has a knockout spot. There's a couple under the eyes.
Mm-hmm. And the ears.
And in the ears.
That's
that's where you can usually...
Oh, God, that's awful.
Wow. Right in the ears. They don't bruise.
No, that's why you got to do it there.
Absolutely you do.
That's terrible.
That or on top of her feet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but feet gross me out.
That's why you hit them.
Anyways.
I don't. You do. And that's well documented on the show. You heard it here first. No, they... You're basically sending shockwaves directly into the brain when you hit up here, and there's no real auto response for the body to shut itself off, like you do with a jaw shot or an ear shot. The ear shot, a lot of times, it discombobulates the fluid in the ears, which is where you get your inner balance from.
Absolutely, yeah. So the brain swells, but just like with anything, any part of your body that can get swollen up, it doesn't do it right away. Mm-hmm. So he really probably didn't even know how badly he was getting fucked up and what kind of trauma he was taking. And, you're not going to get cut up in this region. Not like if you get hit over the brow or under the cheekbone where there's the sharp bones under there. So it's really hard to tell. And, up through that 11th round, I mean, he had his hands up, he was responsive, and he was thrown back. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I don't know how or what anybody really could have done. If the coach can't really tell from the fighter's behavior and in that last round, he did look like a zombie, but also he is Russian. He doesn't speak English, which is what his coach speaks. Yeah. So he's got to watch the coach, but listen to the translator and he's exhausted. He's just fought for 11 rounds. So he's going to be breathing out of his mouth, and they're probably not waste a lot of energy giving responses back. Yeah.
But, this has happened. Unfortunately, every year this happens a couple times, a lot of times in smaller time fights, usually not on televised fights. I think probably the most well-known was back in the 80s, Ray Mancini killing Dooku Kim, a Korean fighter. And it was a very scary thing coming out of it. Dooku Kim, they found in his hotel room a miniature coffin, and in Korean was written "him or me" on there, basically saying, I'm not going to quit this fight. He's going to have to kill me to beat me. And that's
unfortunately what he did. Exactly.
Yeah. He wouldn't stop fighting. He wouldn't go down. And when you're a coach too, you want your guy, it means something, kind of like in Rocky. I just want to be standing at the end of the fight, even if I can't win. That does mean something to these guys. And it's hard to not let your emotions take over.
Well,
like you said, ironically, the Russian died in this one.
Yeah.
So fuck. No, but on a really serious level, and I don't mean to take it down too far, but this is part of the reason why I stopped watching boxing. I mean, that's not the main reason. The main reason is they really suck at promoting it, and they have 15 different championships for every weight class.
I feel like the Mayweather technique kind of killed it.
Yeah.
Where you just run around and just try to outpoint the whole fight.
It had been a very corrupt sport for many years leading up to that even. So many different organizations, WBO, WBC, ABA. I think there was 6 different major boxing associations that had their own belt, and it's a rough fucking deal.
I guess my main point is that you kind of touched on it really well. It always seems to happen every single year, whether it's an amateur fighter or a professional fighter, somebody ends up dying because of this exact repeated thing that we've done for however many years. And it's still not changing. Obviously, you got padded gloves. You got gloves that are certain ounces. They're doing some things, but yet the same exact thing keeps happening at least once a year or maybe more times a year.
Scotty, we got to get you into boxing.
No.
That's what.
No, I'm out. I'm fucking out. No, but this is why
Get you in there with one of the top-rated pros.
This is one of the reasons why I made the switch over to MMA. The main reason is because when somebody gets fucking starched, they stop the fight, or you get tapped out. Or the other thing is that boxing is using your hands and hands only. Like,
yes, you're bludgeoning the other guy.
Exactly. Whenever you get into a bar fight, I hate to break it to you, but there's a lot more shit than somebody just kind of trying to swing at you. Especially if you get one of those guys to take on an MMA fighter and they get you on the ground, they're going to turn you into a fucking pretzel.
Right. Well, and that's why it's not a brawl. It's the sweet science. I mean, that's the nickname of boxing. It is it's pugilism.
It's a dance.
Yes.
You know? But it's still the exact same thing that we keep on repeating, and these guys keep on getting knocked out or getting knocked to a certain level and then given 10 seconds to get back up and try to come back. And 10 seconds, realistically, may be enough time for you to gather yourself to a certain extent to be able to at least stand and check the gloves and then go back in to take more of a beating. And that's exactly how this thing happens. That's actually what they said Muhammad Ali, the way that the whole reason why he had the condition that he had of shaking and barely being able to talk was because of that.
He fought way too long.
He had Parkinson's, I believe, which probably was it cystic fibrosis?
He had Parkinson's.
Yeah. But it was probably brought on by a lot of blunt force trauma to the head. But that, especially with the Foreman fight, that was kind of his plan was to
rope him
out.
I'm going to let you hit me in a lot of ways that can't knock me out, and then when you're worn out, I'm gonna knock shit out of you.
That's rope-a-dope.
Yeah, it works for a fight, but for a career, especially late in your career, and they didn't know near what they know now about concussions and head trauma.
But that's actually my point. As much as we know now, it's 2019. Shit, but the only way that you can make it as, I guess, in entertaining of a sport is not to have headgear, but that's exactly what the fucking headgear is for.
Well, they say headgear doesn't necessarily help because it's the shock wave going through. It's the brain being shaken in the head that you really can't get rid of. It's not the actual force of the fist making contact with the head. That'll stop your cuts and stuff like that. But as far as the brain shaking in the head, just like with NFL helmets, it's not the getting hit in the head that's hurting these guys. It's running full blast and then being stopped immediately. You can't keep your brain. There's room inside your head for your brain to move around, and being violently shaken over and over again causes long-term damage. And in a sport where all you can do is punch,
you're going to get hit in the head.
Right, but reducing the weight of the gloves is going to lead to a lot of other injuries, including a lot of broken hands.
Yeah.
And that is their lifestyle. I mean, that is their livelihood. Is their hands.
Yeah. And MMA fighters, basically, the gloves are specifically just to protect,
And they tape
hands.
the fuck out of their hands, too.
They do.
They are like blocks of concrete.
They really are. Before they put them on, they're taped pretty tight.
Yeah.
But that was a really unfortunate thing. But I wanted to talk about that because that's really...
It's 2 boxers in a week.
Yeah.
Because Pernell Whitaker got hit by a truck.
He got hit by a truck
last week. Yeah.
That really wasn't a boxing injury. That was a boxer who got killed.
I said that's 2 boxers.
Yeah,
he could have fought the truck.
It sure is.
You don't know that. He could have been whacked out of his fucking head, seen this truck coming at him.
It wouldn't surprise me. And then if we're talking the dogs, the number of boxers that have been put down just in this last week alone has got to be thousands.
Exactly. All right, but moving on to the fun part of the show, because it is coming ever so closer and closer week by week. We got NFL news. Yeah,
it's not coming closer for me. I got DirecTV.
Well, Scotty, you should listen to this podcast. We'll be discussing every week.
Yes.
Breaking down the games.
I can watch highlights.
Or Derek. I guess you're Derek.
No.
Don't you ever call me Scotty.
Sorry.
Did you call him Scotty?
I might have.
Oh, my God.
Normally, I'm used to condescending to you.
I really hope I'm much better looking than Derek.
No.
What?
No, not with that fucking pubic hair on your chin. Jesus.
Yeah.
Well. My wife likes it.
No, she doesn't.
She tells me.
You look like you need to be making toys.
She tolerates it. By the way.
Fair enough.
You fucked that shit?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's cool. Okay, NFL news 2019. I wanted to get into this, man. We all sat down here and we were discussing, what to talk about on the show. And for the very first time, I listened to the completely uncut, unedited Tyreek Hill audio.
It was just released in the last week.
Holy fucking shit.
It's an 11-minute, 20-second conversation that completely changes a lot of the context.
And I'm almost positive there was this one podcast that was talking about something along the lines of exactly what fucking happened. You know what that
Trill Sports?
No. No, it was
WTF with Mark Maron.
No, I'm kind of
Joe Rogan experience.
I'm kind of pissed off actually because after that show released, there was some jackass that left a comment and said, "Oh, you guys made a whole bunch of shit up." No, we fucking didn't. We had a reliable source. We had some stuff that we wanted to talk about, and we kind of broke it a little bit. And guess what? We broke it weeks before it actually came out. And yeah, there you go. Have that.
We broke it like that kid's arm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's bad. But
Just a green stick fracture all over podcast.
Oh man. Well, what did you guys take of it? I've kind of done a 180 at this point.
It sounds like she was trying to manipulate him into saying and incriminating himself, and then was going to doctor the tape however she wanted.
It sounds like she did, doctor.
Well, she did.
She cut over half of it
Out.
or somebody did, and just to leave the stuff that makes him sound the worst.
Yeah.
And there's some parts in there where he's showing genuine concern for raising his child
Sure.
and the difficulties that a young black kid will have to face growing up.
Sure.
There's parts where he out and out confronts her directly. The only other person who would know for sure about the 2014 incident where supposedly he punched her in the stomach. Yes, he pled guilty to it. Mm-hmm. I can see actually an attorney or whatever, given the career he's got ahead of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, just take the plea.
Just take the plea, get back to playing football.
Yeah.
In 3 years, you keep your nose clean. It's off your record entirely,
Sure.
expunged. And, so that would have been in his best interest. But he's confronting her. Did I hit you? Did I ever hit you? And she is ducking.
Yeah, she is sidestepping the question.
She lied about some shit. And
she knew she was on tape. He didn't. Yeah, and she knew,
that tells
and that's
me
why
a lot.
she would not say. Yeah, she
Right.
would not say yes. She would not say no. She just kept dodging the question,
Right.
And answering the question with a question.
That tells me more. That tells me so much more because the guy that has absolutely no idea that he's being recorded is most likely going to be the one that's telling the truth. The person that is doing the recording is trying to set the other person up for as much as she possibly can to get him in a situation where she has leverage or has some kind of bargaining chip to where he's going to have to pay her shitloads of money. Because it sounds like this whole deal was whenever Tyreek Hill is breaking up with her over this whole trip or he's trying to dump her basically.
over the whole incident.
Yeah. And she's not having it. And so that's where it kind of sounds like, oh, shit. This is where all of this is kind of coming into fruition of what we basically were told a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. It's really looking like, they were afraid to use what they had for audio because they were afraid it was
doctored. And it turns out
steps were taken to keep any doctoring covered up from it. And I think that was a very planned step on her part. And the way the sinister way that she is coming onto this, trying to be like this voice of reason.
Yeah.
But then, trying to trick him into saying something that she can then twist and manipulate into evidence against him. And like I say, she did not try to use it against him in a court of law. Mm-hmm. She put it into the court of public opinion.
Sure.
With only what she wanted people to hear.
Correct.
And that is so manipulative and so sadistic, really.
I think she wanted custody of the kid and the child support payments.
And that's
Probably.
what it
That's
sounds.
what it is.
That's what it sounds like. The whole thing is stemming over is that he said he wanted to leave her and that he was going to take custody of the kid.
Right.
And she made him pay for it.
Yeah. She's basically trying to use as much information in order for that not to happen. So what turns out, which was, several episodes ago, what we were talking about, where it sounds like that most likely they already had this evidence when we were doing the show, because at the time we knew that Tyreek Hill was allowed supervised visitation visits with the kid, and she was not. So
She admits that she spanks the kid.
Right.
In this audio. We didn't get to hear that the first
Tyreek
time.
Hill flat out says that you're the one that uses the belt on
Yeah.
him. And then she goes, well, have you seen it? It's like, no, my mom has seen it.
Yeah, my mom even said she saw he used the belt on him.
Exactly. So this whole thing is getting...
I don't think a belt's child abuse. I think everybody in this room got the belt as a kid.
My old man used a fucking pipe wrench.
Oh my God.
I got hit with a pipe when I was a kid.
And I was just like, more. Not a pipe wrench.
I got hit with a lead pipe once.
Mama, I had
we all got the belt or some form of spanking.
I got my ass whipped with every weapon and clue.
Yeah.
You
Like
know,
the candlestick, the rope, didn't matter. Colonel Mustard,
well, yeah,
all
but
of
those
it.
are so tiny.
the game pieces. No, but this is ridiculous. This was something that was spun up so fast, and I got to admit,
We wanted Dave
we
Rickles
wanted
to
Dave
beat the hell
Rickles
out
to
of
beat
him.
the shit out of him.
And I don't mean
Dave
that I
wanted
don't
to,
want
too.
that to happen. And,
Depends on
still
whose fantasy
doesn't-
team he ends up on. Then
Right.
that might, yeah.
He still doesn't come across as necessarily looking like a good person.
Yeah, I'll go with
Unless
that.
he calls his, at the time, fiance, bro.
Bro,
A
a
lot. A lot. But yeah,
no, bro.
If you have beaten somebody up in the past and you've worked past it, the last thing you would ever do is bring it back up in a future argument for your case.
Right.
And he is straight up telling her, you fucking lied about that shit and you know it. And
Right.
she's not saying, no, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Yeah.
She's sidestepping it and trying to move to a different subject.
Right.
Yeah, where'd the bruises come from? Did I hit you? But where did the bruises come from then? Did I hit you?
Did I hit you?
Yeah.
But the police report, she told them he threw me around like a rag doll and punched me in my pregnant stomach.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess he was on the tape saying, like, no, I put you outside. I just took you and
I picked you
Yeah.
up and put you outside because I told you to leave and you didn't leave.
Yeah, they basically what he said. She said they just got done having sex. He fucked that shit.
He fucked
and
that
then he took her phone, went to the bathroom, and then after he'd taken her phone and went through messages or whatever in the bathroom and found out, I'm guessing, that she was fucking around.
Probably.
He picked her up. He said it's time to leave. She wouldn't leave. He picked her up, put her on the porch, and she left.
And
It's all she said at that point.
When he finally said, you should be terrified of me too, you dumb bitch. She had already made so many accusations of, you broke his arm. She kept saying that to him over and over again. And when somebody keeps falsely accusing you of the same shit and nobody believes you, you get irritated.
Yeah.
You get angry. I can totally understand his anger.
I can too. I may have decided to use a completely different set of words, but he may not have been saying it like in a really aggressive way of like, I'm going to strike you, but maybe you should be afraid of me too, because I'm about ready to sue your ass for the the defamation.
Yeah, you'll be out on your ass if you don't watch yours.
And this is kind of, I hope that's not what he was meaning as far as whatever he's saying. But the more that I hear about this tape, this story, I'm sitting here going, holy shit, this is something that's completely turned me around 180. I think that I don't know. I don't know.
The only thing the NFL seemed to have a problem with was him calling her a dumb bitch, which does violate the player conduct
the
protocol,
dumb bitch rule.
The dumb bitch rule. Even though which I'm not so sure that that's a violation when it's accurate. And I think he got a fine out of it. But from what I read somewhere else, Patrick Mahomes has welcomed him back.
Yeah.
To the team,
and so has Coach. So has Andy Reid.
Yeah, and you kind of have to do that, whether you buy his story or not.
Yeah.
This does need to be a functioning team. You can't have
Yep.
hardship going on in the locker room, or it just won't work out.
Yep.
And so you've got to, at least for the course of the season, try and put it out of your mind and move on.
Right.
you've got to give it up to kind of the Chiefs for that, because I feel like that as an organization they handled that very well.
I do too.
I believe there was probably more communication between him and the team than what they were all letting on. They probably just couldn't say anything.
Right. And they didn't. They just
Right.
distanced themselves in the beginning, and I think they wanted to get every fact. I mean, because they just learned with the Kareem Hunt deal, right? Which and they just straight cut him, but there was video and not audio.
Right.
Sure.
But I think they wanted to make sure they had all the facts and had everything laid out in front of them. And I just feel like they handled it well. He's back. I feel like he's going to be received well by the fans. I
hope so.
I hope so. Yeah.
But
he breaks that first 80-yard touchdown. He sure as fuck will be.
Probably.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's
Unfortunately, though, this isn't going to get near the publicity
no.
that him being a child abuser. So
People love scandal.
People are still going to fucking protest outside the stadium, and they're going to fucking want him cut from the team, and it's going to still be a big deal because they're not going to look at the facts.
Look at what I want to know is what signs are going to be in the end zone when they're playing
Oh,
away.
I'm sure.
You know,
because they're not going to pay attention. They're not going to listen to the show, because they don't listen to this show, fuck you.
Which that puts them in the severe minority.
Right. Okay, so I want to get off of this topic. I want to get off of this.
We've talked a lot about him.
Yeah. All right. Next thing I want to get into, though, is the USA Today Sports came out with the 2019 AFC divisions, NFC divisions of what they think the records are going to be, and all this shit. I had a serious problem. I used my favorite joke when I actually shared the post of this, which is actually from Joe Rogan's stand-up, and whoever made these predictions were high as giraffe pussy, but they really were. I'm looking at a couple of these, and there are a couple of them that I think maybe kind of make sense, but some of them don't. I'm looking at the AFC West. They have the Chargers at 12-4 over the Chiefs at 11-5. Let's start with the AFC West. What do you guys think of this in this particular situation? Because I can't.
12 wins ain't going to win you the West. I think you're going to need 13 or more. I don't dispute that the Chargers... The Chargers are. It's a coin flip between Chargers and Chiefs.
I think 12-4 gets you the West, but I think you flip it.
What do you mean?
I think Chiefs 12-4 and the Chargers 11-5.
Yeah, I don't know who the fuck is going to beat the Chiefs or the Chargers though 5 times. That's
I don't think
you have
anybody.
the schedule, right?
Yeah, I do. I got the schedule in front of me because I want you guys
I
to
guess
look.
Nobody's going to beat them 5 times.
No, but look at this.
Chicago could beat both teams.
Could
Green Bay could realistically beat both teams. They're going to beat up on each other. They split. I say they split, so that's 3. Jacksonville's a possibility, and I think Minnesota's a possibility.
Okay, but here's the thing. I want you to look at the first 7 games that the Chargers get to play. Look at the first 7 games. I would say against Indianapolis, it's the first game of the season. It is at home, so it's in L.A. That may be a 50-50 game for me. I think Indianapolis is going to be good this year. But look at the rest of the games. At Detroit, they're terrible. Houston, at home, maybe.
Miami's bad.
Miami's terrible. Denver's terrible. Pittsburgh is rebuilding. Tennessee is terrible. Chicago is their first loss that I have. So when you look at it, Green Bay at home depends on who,
at Chicago. I don't know that.
I think
Chargers win at Chicago.
No, I have Chicago winning that game.
Okay.
Yeah, I have Chicago winning that game.
Unless it comes down to a kick.
Maybe. But then you have Green Bay, Oakland, and then at KC, I have them losing. At Denver, I've got them sweeping Denver. I've got at Jacksonville taking that one. Home Minnesota, I've got Minnesota winning that. Oakland, another W for Los Angeles, and then at KC. So I have Kansas City sweeping them. I still think that I think you're going to have the Raiders and the Broncos at the bottom of the AFC West. I think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be at the top of the AFC West, and they may even have the same record, to be honest with you. It just kind of depends. It seems like every year one team ends up having a game that they should win, and they end up losing, or a couple in a row or something like that. But as far as right now, if everybody's healthy, I got the Chiefs in the AFC West. Anybody disagree?
No, I don't disagree with that.
I wouldn't disagree with that, but I wouldn't put it past the Chargers. They were very good last year. The Chargers were that team that the Chiefs should have won and lost because, I mean, they had a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter.
And they had no defense.
Right, and it came down to a fucking last-second play. So, and the big difference I see with their schedules is that the Chiefs have New England.
Yeah, they do.
At New England.
Yeah, that's
late
true.
in the season.
quite possibly a loss.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that probably is a loss, actually.
And you always have those fluke games. Like they always say, any given Sunday, anybody can beat anybody.
Sure.
But there are those fluke games where you just your jaw just fucking drops.
Right.
I forget what it was last year. I think it might have been Detroit beating New England last year was one of those games.
Right.
Nobody saw that coming.
Right. But I'm going to take the Chiefs over the Chargers. I think the Chiefs have a good possibility, especially with Tyreek Hill after the news that we just heard that they may actually have a good opportunity to go to a Super Bowl this year.
I said within 3. They'll be there within 3 years.
Within 3. But now moving on, I want to go to the AFC North. I've got a serious problem with this. USA Today Sports has the Steelers winning the AFC North with a record of 11-5. The Browns are 10-6. The Ravens 8-8, and then obviously the Bengals bringing up the rear at 3-13.
I think Browns and Ravens are going to wipe up.
Above Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I don't understand this at all.
I don't know that the Browns are going to beat out the Ravens for the division title, but both of those teams, I feel safe in saying, will finish ahead of Pittsburgh.
I mean, seriously, let's look at the schedule for Pittsburgh. At New England, first game, loss. Seattle at home. I would probably pick Seattle right now at this point over Pittsburgh. At San Francisco, Jimmy Garoppolo's back. They've got Kittle. That's a possibility of a loss. Cincinnati, they'll win. Baltimore,
I say they split.
Split with Baltimore. Okay, so they'll win the first one at home. Then they got to play at LA. Then they got to play Miami. They'll win. Indianapolis at home. That's tough. At Cleveland, loss. At Cincinnati, maybe a loss.
No, I think they'll sweep Cincinnati.
I don't know. I'll highlight that game. At
Arizona, win. Buffalo, win. At the Jets, win. I think they close out with 4 wins in a row.
Right, but I certainly do not have them at 11-5.
Or not 4 wins in a row. At Baltimore, I see them losing Week 17.
I think they'll lose to Baltimore both times.
But I think 10-6 wins that division.
Sure.
And I think it's the Browns at 10-6.
Okay, I'll go with that. But I don't think it's the Steelers. I will take the Browns winning the division, then the Ravens, then the Steelers.
Yeah,
that's where I
put the Browns at 10-5-1 just because.
That's actually probably smart. But anyways, we'll move on. The AFC South, I don't have a problem with.
No, that looks pretty standard.
That looks pretty good. They've got the Indianapolis Colts at 10-6, tied with the Jaguars at 10-6. And then the Titans 9-7, the Texans 6-10. I would say that the Texans are probably going to win more games than the Titans.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that you got Mariota on a contract year, and typically those guys perform better on contract years.
I'm not a big fan of Mariota, though.
I'm not either.
And I like the Texans this year to kind of be a surprise. I actually wouldn't be surprised if the Texans were
8-8's where I'd put them at.
I really thought Mariota would pan out better.
I did too, but it's not going to happen. I think that you're going to have Watt back, and you're going to have Watson be full.
You'll have Watt back, but Watt will be out again. Watt
maybe
gets hurt every year.
I know, but we'll see what happens. But then you've got both of your guys on the outside, DeAndre Hopkins, and then you're going to have Will Fuller actually at full strength. He'll probably get hurt by the end of the season. That's true. But we'll see what happens. I think that the AFC South is one of those divisions that I think may mix up a little bit, and you may be surprised.
Colts won it last year, right?
Yeah, I think so.
The East is dead on, probably.
They really didn't lose
the
much.
East, I got to give them credit. The East is dead fucking on. I think the Patriots at 11-5 win the division. I think they may actually win more.
I don't think the Bills win 8 games.
I don't either.
I don't think the Bills win 8 games. Actually, I'd probably put the Jets over the Bills.
I think the only team with a winning record in the East is going to be the Patriots.
New England Patriots. Yeah, because that's the shittiest part of the NFL is
not
the
even
AFC East.
Not even a 500 record. I don't see anybody going 8-8 in the East outside of the Patriots.
Yeah, you're probably right. Because that's man.
The Bills have no quarterback. They have no. I mean, they just don't have any real weapons.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Going on to the NFC West. Okay. Here's another one of my really, really, really big fucking problems. They have the 49ers at the top of the NFC West at 10-6, the Rams at 9-7, the Seahawks at 9-7, and the Cardinals at 3-13. Okay, I get it. You got Jimmy Garoppolo back. That's it.
You got Kittle.
Okay, you have Kittle, but where was the 49ers last year?
They were in San Francisco. They've been there for a long time, Scotty.
I get it. Where were they in the division?
They would be called something else if they weren't.
They were third. They were third in the division.
But they had no quarterback.
I know they had no quarterback, but I still don't think that Jimmy Garoppolo is as good as everybody
I
portrays him to
certainly
be.
don't think so. I mean, he had some good showings in New England. So
Yeah.
did Matt Castle.
Yeah, exactly.
That is a system made for people to be successful.
That's my point.
He didn't lose a game when he got traded. He
And-
was
and-
6-0 with San Francisco the second he got there, and San Francisco was bad.
Okay.
And then they ended up he ended up 6-0 over there.
I will say
I
this.
put the Rams and Seahawks ahead of the 49ers.
I do too.
I do not.
I take the Rams. I go Rams, Seahawks, then 49ers and Cardinals. And I mean, they do have an early, easy schedule. They're at Tampa Bay. They're at Cincinnati, home against Pittsburgh, home against Cleveland, at L.A., at Washington, Carolina, at Arizona. And so they're going to get some wins. So I just 10-6, you can kiss my ass.
I think it's right.
You think the 49ers over the Rams and the Hawks?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
And I think both those teams finished with the same record, just like they've got them here.
Okay. I'll highlight that one for Mr. Derek.
Well, and maybe you're right, but I don't see it. I mean, the Rams are coming off a Super Bowl appearance. That's
Yeah.
for them to not be the favorites in the division.
Typical, when you lose the Super Bowl, you typically don't make the playoffs the next year.
You don't know what I typically do.
I'm saying, period. Most teams that don't win the Super Bowl, that lose in the Super Bowl, go on and miss the playoffs the next season.
I'll have you know I've never lost in the Super Bowl.
What about this? What about this division here, Derek? The NFC North: Vikings, Bears, Packers, Lions.
I don't think the Packers win 9 games. I think they go 0-16.
Really?
No, I don't think they're going to have. I think 8-8 maybe at best. The Vikings at 12-4 that they have kind of surprises
With
me.
Kirk Cousins,
That I don't see that. 11-5. Let me look at the Bears schedule and I'll tell you.
I'm not really. I like the Vikings this year. Kirk Cousins is gonna actually have a decent year.
We're going to sweep Green Bay. We'll beat Denver, beat Washington. By God, I think we're going 16-0. No, I'm just kidding. We'll probably lose. I'm guessing we'll probably lose it at home against the Chiefs. Mm-hmm. We'll probably split with Minnesota. I think we beat Green Bay both games. Dallas could be a loss, maybe not. The Chargers, we probably lose that game. We probably lose to New Orleans. I see, probably about 11-5 is right, but I think that wins the division.
Okay. I'd say you're probably right. I'm going to take the Bears winning that division. Vikings second, and Packers be third, and Lions fourth.
Yeah, because the Vikings I can see losing to Atlanta. Mm-hmm. I see them losing to, they'll split. Let's say they split with us, with the Bears. Philly, I can see beating them.
Yeah.
The Chiefs are going to beat them. Dallas could beat them, same thing. And they've got the Chargers. That's 6 losses. That's 10-6.
Yeah. So, anyway, NFC South: Falcons, Saints, Panthers, Bucks. Okay.
I don't see where they're getting the Falcons from.
I think the Falcons will be in second place, but I do not know how you pick over the Saints in this particular scenario.
Especially Drew Brees is on a fucking mission.
He
this
is
year.
fucking pissed from last year. They're going to be the best team in the NFL. And the Falcons already have to start off. They have to play at Minnesota, against Philadelphia, at Indianapolis, and then Tennessee, Houston, Arizona, LA Rams. They have to play home against Seattle. Then they play at New Orleans again, at Carolina, Tampa Bay, home against New Orleans, Carolina, at San Francisco, Jacksonville, at Tampa Bay.
It wouldn't surprise me if they hang a 50 spot on the Rams,
Maybe.
because that's who they really want to punish.
Probably.
Let me see your sheet real quick, Scotty.
Which one? This one?
Yeah, let me just see that real fast.
Okay. What are you looking for?
Yeah, that's what I thought that was.
What?
They think that the Super Bowl is going to be the Chargers and the Eagles.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no fucking way.
No, that's not.
Carson Wentz isn't even going to make it through the whole year.
No shit. Week 8. I think that's what I called it.
The Eagles' hopes are soundly planted on him making it through the season.
Right.
And he hasn't shown he can do that yet.
No.
And
but,
he's got back knee.
But this is my favorite part. We get into the NFC East. Because I'm almost positive we've got several Cowboy fans and Eagles fans that get to listen to this show. Maybe a Giants fan, 1 or 2. But I had the opportunity to talk to a couple of these Cowboy fans. And I apparently broke their heart when I broke the news to them that that this whole ordeal with Ezekiel Elliott, Dak Prescott.
Zeke's holding out, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
And I don't understand how he can do that. Maybe you guys can enlighten me on this.
Do the
He
same-
is still under contract, right?
He can do the
Le'Veon did
exact
the
same
same
thing
thing.
with Le'Veon Bell.
Le'Veon
Right,
was under
but Le'Veon
contract.
was on a opt-in year, wasn't he?
Franchise tag.
Franchise tag.
Okay, but he doesn't have to accept that. He can sit out. They're not putting the franchise tag on Elliott, are they?
They probably will.
They eventually will.
Right.
But the more and more I keep on talking to these Dallas Cowboys fans, they think that they have been on the shoulders of Dak Prescott this entire time. That's the way I'm kind of picking it up. And like Dak got us there. I mean, I'm like, no, your offensive line got you there. Well, running backs are plug and plays. So if we lose Zeke, then we'll get somebody else we can put back.
I remember when they lost Zeke a couple of years ago to suspension, and they had their running game was dog shit for those 4 games.
I think he's a better than average running back.
I do
but
too.
He's not the next Emmitt Smith.
No,
he
I'm not saying that.
But Cowboys people seem to think he is.
What, Zeke?
Yeah,
I'm
that he's the
actually
next
getting
Emmitt Smith.
I'm getting actually a lot of negative feedback from Zeke, and I get it because of the off the field crap that he keeps on getting himself into. I get that. I totally understand that. And they want to pay Dak when I think that Dak is not a top 15 quarterback.
No, but teams revolve much more around quarterback than they do running backs.
I understand, but when you put a person, let's say you put an NFL quarterback behind one of the best offensive lines in the league, give him more time to let the offense develop, put yourself back there with a fucking above average running back. I think he's better than that. I don't know about you, but if you look at fantasy projections for this year, number 1 and 2 picks are Ezekiel Elliott, always in the one of the top 2. It's because he's damn good at his job. Now, if he goes,
and he gets the majority of the carry.
sure, that's because he carries the fucking team. That's the point.
He does. I guess a team can function without a running back. They can't function without a starting quarterback.
I guess
Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
right. But I guess my point is that
he was great.
Zeke is a 3-down back.
Okay.
Okay, he can catch the ball. He can run the ball. He knows how to run the ball, and his offensive line knows how to block for him. But I've got to say this. This is not going to be the best year for the Cowboys, and the main reason why is because all the off-field drama that's going to end up coming of this, and because of Zeke, basically he's leaving the country. He's going back to, I think Mexico is where he actually does his training or something like that. Yeah, he's already on the plane. He says he's leaving the country. And maybe that's more, more chips to be able to bet on himself kind of a thing. Good for him.
I guess what I'm saying is I don't understand that how a player can hold out on a signed contract and expect that contract to still be valid.
Oh, he's not going to
he
get
gets
paid. The same exact thing that with Le'Veon Bell will happen to Zeke if he decides to sit out and not play.
Yeah, he won't get paid.
He won't get paid. And then eventually, I mean, he's going to piss off the Cowboys, and they're going to try to get rid of him. He'll do the exact same thing. I don't necessarily think it's going to come to that. I think most likely the Cowboys come to some kind of a consensus agreement and make it work between the two. But I've got all these Cowboys fans. It's like, no, Zeke's not all that pissed. No, he's fucking pissed. Are you kidding me?
The few that I've talked to, that I said that paying Prescott was a mistake, and the only response I've gotten is, well, who else are they going to get? That's who you pay. That's your guy. Who else are they going to get? And that shouldn't be your response. Like you shouldn't be just, okay, well, I guess if everybody else is gone, we're going to lock this guy up.
Exactly.
I mean, if you have to, draft a guy again. But you can draft a guy and tag Dak for 2 years.
Right.
And the guy that you draft is probably going to be better than Dak Prescott.
Yes.
Well, and because there won't be any interest in Dak Prescott.
No. And that's kind of my point. It's like, okay, if you're going to trade Dak Prescott for anybody, who would you do it with? And the fact of the matter is every single team that you are trying to trade for is going to tell you to go shove it up your ass. So that's actually my point.
Outside of maybe like the Bengals or the Bills or the Jets,
What?
football hell.
What, Andy Dalton?
Yeah, I'm saying those teams would take him.
I would much rather have Andy Dalton over Dak Prescott.
I don't know about that.
He's a better raw quarterback. He can't stay healthy, but
He can't stay healthy because he has no O-line.
right.
But that's
Yeah,
I guess,
I'm guessing
that's the
Andy Dalton would
consensus.
love to go to the Cowboys.
I guarantee you that he would. Absolutely would.
Yeah, but I guess more to my point was when you're under contract for the next 2 years and you don't show up for training camp, how are you not in breach of contract? I get it if the team franchise tags you, they've altered the terms of your contract now. So you can refuse to show up. But
Oh, I see what you're saying.
but when they've got, I mean, what's the point of having somebody locked up under contract?
They can't force the guy to work.
Well, they can't force him to work, but doesn't he either have to retire or, I mean, to hold out and then expect to be welcomed back to not get fired, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you cut him, somebody else, you risk somebody in your
I
division
guess,
going
yeah.
and picking him up too.
Right. It's a chess game that he's trying to play, and we'll see what happens with it. But
Yeah, I guess it's just bullshit. You agreed to that contract. Work
Right.
for your fucking contract.
right. But to sum it up, I've got the Eagles taking that division, the Cowboys coming in second, and I have the Redskins over the Giants.
Yeah, the fact that they think the Giants are going to win 5 games is
They have
laughable.
They have Daniel Jones.
yeah, right.
They sure do, and he's
Yes.
going to be holding that clipboard real well, watching Eli get fucking demolished until the season's too late to salvage.
Daniel Jones ends up being the starting quarterback by week 5.
You think?
Yeah.
I think he might get it right out of training camp
I don't know.
Week 5 or earlier.
or out of the preseason. I think he might win it in preseason.
Just because of the mental state of a quarterback that he's got to be in, putting the starting job on a New York team quarterback right out of the box. You know the season is fucking dead in the water anyway. Why not let the guy who you know can take it, who can take the pressure,
Yeah.
put him out there, let the other guy learn from him from a clipboard? Because he's a smart guy.
Yeah.
And he can learn a lot from Eli. And Eli's not going to back up anybody. I don't think.
He might get one of those fake injuries where it makes him kind of call this his last season, maybe.
I guess maybe, but you can do severe long-term damage to the guy that you've kind of banked on now to be the future of your team.
The way that I see the Giants organization doing things like this is it's not the smart way, and I think they're going to probably try to throw Daniel Jones way too fast into it.
Nobody wanted him. None of the fans wanted him. They all wanted Haskins.
I have
drafted
yet
him.
to see a commentator or a fan react positively to that.
Unfortunately, I
pick.
did get to meet one of those. I've met a New York Giants fan that's kind of excited about it, but
What choice does he have now?
yeah, it's already a done deal. But anyways, that's that.
All right.
We're at an hour and oh shit, we're at an hour and 16
Jesus
minutes.
Christ,
Oh
that
my
was
God.
exhausting.
That was
I
exhausting.
need
I'm
something
tired
to pep me up for the drive home, Scotty.
No shit. I got
Yeah.
some shit for
what,
you.
What do you got?
I got
What do you
some.
You got some Coke?
I got some Strike Force, man.
Oh, Strike Force. What's that?
Strike Force. It's an additive for a bottle of water. It's an energy drink, basically. It comes in little small packets that you can open, put into a bottle of water,
Okay.
shake it up, and it's actually a really delicious energy drink.
Does it got to be a bottle?
Nick,
Can I put it in a can of water? It comes in cans now. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, it comes in like soda cans.
no, you can put it
Yeah,
in anything.
It doesn't taste right.
You can put
You
it
can
in
get
like
boxed
can.
water too.
Sure
you
you can.
can get boxed
Oh, like
water.
wine?
Yeah, the boxed water. 2015 was a real good year for boxed water.
Fuck yeah, it was. Good vintage.
Yes.
Good vintage on the hydrogen and oxygen.
Oh
Yes,
shit,
both.
that's awful.
Is it?
Yeah,
That is what water's made of.
awful.
No, hydrogen and oxygen.
Yes, I know that.
Oh,
yeah. H2O.
yeah.
But
Two
anyway.
hydrogen. That's one.
The 2 stands for terrific.
Is that right? God,
Speaking
you
of
guys are weird.
terrific,
Yeah.
tell me more about the Strike Force.
Strike Force Energy is an excellent product. I actually have military friends that have been using it for years. You can check them out at strikeforceenergy.com. They actually have 4 flavors of this particular additive to a bottle of water or any beverage that you would like. It has no calories, no sugars, and about the same amount of caffeine as a regular cup of Joe.
And this is a fact. Not one current military user of Strike Force has been killed in combat.
Really?
Not a current user, no.
Oh, that would make sense.
Yes,
Sorry,
it sure
that
would.
one. Over my head. But
A lot of stuff does that, Scott.
they have 4 flavors. Comes in lemon, orange, grape, and original, which we call Nick Foles.
Tastes just like him.
Yep, exactly. So check them out at strikeforceenergy.com. Use the promo code No More Cans for 20% off of your order. Again, strikeforceenergy.com. Gentlemen,
I can taste the freedom now.
right. Yeah. I don't know. I got nothing. You got anything?
No, I'm out.
Nothing? God damn it. All right. Fine.
Jesus Christ, we've gone an hour and 20 minutes almost.
Really?
An hour and 19 coming up on.
1, 2. No, okay, I won't do
Jesus, this is entertaining for people.
All right, guys. You can check us out at Facebook at The Unfiltered Sportscast. We are also on Instagram, which I'm starting to pay a little bit more attention to, so we can get some pictures and videos and shit out on that too at The Unfiltered Sportscast. You can follow us on Twitter at The Unfiltered Crew. Is it The Unfiltered Crew?
At Unfiltered Crew.
God damn it! Every fucking time. That's Derek's little.
When do we get up on the MySpace?
Well, I'm still talking to Tom.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking to Tom. I think I've almost got it worked out.
That's a whole different podcast,
Yeah.
Talking Tom.
Absolutely, and the
And LinkedIn.
No. Okay, and also on YouTube at the.
I was going to say, that's still a thing, isn't it?
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay. At the Unfiltered Sportscast channel. So, guys, do us a favor. This show is starting to grow. Actually, it's doing very, very well, and it's all because of you guys. So, thank you very much. Oh, I did want to announce we are going to start having Wrestling Wednesdays. I'm going to share a thing on Facebook every Wednesday, and you get to make a GIF of your favorite whatever the category. I thought that was really cool. I share one fucking WWE wrestling thing, and it fucking goes.
Oh, professional wrestling.
Yeah,
I thought you were getting
professional
into the
wrestling.
amateur stuff.
No.
No, he only
We
likes
all like
amateur
singlets.
porn.
Sure. Prints off the
Thanks,
pictures
asshole.
and has a good time.
Yep.
But anyways, guys, do us a favor. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep spreading the show. That helps us out. So if you like us, tell your friends. If you don't like us,
Eat human shit.
Big old bag of it.
if you don't like us,
Tell your enemies.
until next time, guys,
Take that filter off and make it dirty.
we'll see you. Take care.